It's time to focus again on the Christian Principles timeline. This time, we're focusing on the month of August.
The Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Herzog Foundation. But bear in mind, the views and opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation. Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
And I'm Mark Zockoll. Today, August. It's not actually August, but we're talking about August today.
August.
So Matt, let's get into it. I mean, we know we take a long time on these, so let's just hit the ground running. Matt, tell me all the special days that happen in August.
Well, I just don't even want to talk about August because that just, you know what that means. And we'll get into it, I know. But we've got some. August is one of those months where I don't feel like there's a lot going on, but there is. There's a lot, but not. So these special days, we really condensed the list for you to only the really important ones, I guess. August 1st, I felt the most important one to mention was the National Mountain Climbing Day. Like, just go climb a mountain.
Yeah.
Do it. Why
not?
Go
find one. Go travel to one and climb one.
August 4th, Hooray for Kids Day. I mean, we should be saying hooray for kids.
Hooray.
Without them, we're out of a job. So, hooray for kids. We've got August 8th, National Pickleball Day. Now, I put this one on here specifically to spread awareness. Stop playing pickleball. That's my point.
I thought you were going to say start playing pickleball.
No, stop it. Just cut it out. I don't get it. I don't get the craze.
Pickleball.
I don't understand.
They're popping up everywhere. They're like rabbits. Where are the basketball courts? Go back and make more basketball courts.
Yeah, basketball or even tennis courts. Like, why all the tennis courts are being used for pickleball now? Like, come on.
That is true.
Now,
that is true.
And I don't even necessarily go and find tennis courts all that often. But my biggest thing is, like, I've already had several friends that have had major surgery because of playing pickleball. Like, this is not cool. But anyway, those of you who love pickleball, go play on August 8th. August 9th, National Book Lovers Day. Pick up a book. Maybe you'll become a book lover on August 9th. August 15th, this is a big one, National Relaxation Day. You'd better take advantage of relaxing on August 15th because I have a hunch that after August 15th, not many of us will be able to relax.
In fact, I'm really interested to hear how many of you can't have National Relaxation Day on August 15th because you begin school on August 15th.
I don't even think I'm going to be able to relax on that day. I mean, but
that falls
if
on
you
a Friday.
can.
I guess it falls on a Friday, so maybe not. Maybe it's the 18th
we'll see
for some of you, but still.
But you know, we'll give it to you. Yeah, we'll give it to you a day late if you need it. But August 26th, National Toilet Paper Day. Now, if you can remember back to the year 2020. We all grew in our appreciation of toilet paper, I think. But, you know, I thought it would be a good thing to put on here because if you haven't already started back to school, great time to go and check on those supplies. Make sure you're ready. They're going to start coming back in the building. And they're going to need it. You don't want to be caught empty-handed. And then the last one, special day, August 28th, National Bow Tie Day. I want to know how many of our listeners are sporting the bow ties. They seem to be really coming back.
Well,
but I especially want to shout out our great friend here.
Really good friend, Mr. Shane Burge. Absolutely. Bow tie master.
Nobody pulls off the bow tie better than Shane.
And he's looking real svelte these days. looking real good. He's been traveling internationally recently.
I guess that does it to you.
He's gotten his tan on.
I've never been able to really get into bow ties, but I don't know. Maybe I will Maybe I'll try this year. Go bow tie. Maybe we'll see.
Week-long observances. We only have a few for you. So the first week of August, exercise with your child week. You know, I've been amazed at how far kids can run, just because I was not one to grow up doing a lot of running or to see children like do timed running or distance running. But man, I recently came into knowledge of, recently came into more contact with children running and 5Ks that are student oriented, or even running clubs and things like that focus on elementary students. Go run with your kid. Simplify Your Life Week is also the first week of August. We think about the schools when we think about these holidays and which ones we're bringing up. So I think about Simplify Your Life. You may very well need to do some trimming of your schedule or trimming of your
Cut
work
the fat
place. Yeah. Go clean out your office that day. That'd be simplifying your life. Second week's National Smile Week. That physical, forced smile. Just do it. Just put the face in. Sometimes you got to do it. Pass the joy through the mouth, pass the joy through the teeth that way. Third week, National Management Training Week. You very well could be doing a lot of national. Could be doing a lot of management training in this time period with your managers and your faculty and staff alike. So hey, throw the observance on it and have a cake with it. Just go get a sheet cake that says National Management. For all of these, just go get a sheet cake. Your life,
just go get a cake.
Your life will probably be better, except for like National Exercise Day or National Low Calories Day. Your life will be better with a sheet cake. And then we got to drop in Elvis Week. Around the 16th of the month, there is some kind of, I guess it's his birthday, or maybe it's just National Elvis Day or something, but the third week of August or some week in August is usually Elvis Week. So if there's any, fans out there. Like a mush. I was never an Elvis fan. My parents really weren't Elvis fans, so
I was never an Elvis fan, but that was, and as it probably is for many, like my first impersonation that I ever tried.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm sure there's songs out there that I know, but they're his. And anyway,
yeah,
Elvis Week. Month-long observances. Hit them with us, Matt.
Oh, there's a few of these. National Wellness Month. So, yeah, going back to maybe cake, not the best way to observe National Wellness Month. But, as you're exercising with your kids, which I should say, my visual goes to like actually curling my kids. That's what I think of that. We got National Water Quality Month. So perhaps, again, coming back to school, make sure we've got good water quality for our kids.
I was just watching a YouTube clip about a guy who visits houses and places all across the world, and he was visiting small houses in New York City, and they turned on their sink and it looked like coffee was coming out of their sink, and that was disgusting.
Yep. Yeah. You want to run those faucets, especially if our school buildings haven't been running water. I know everybody's got that on their checklist, but still, make sure we got good water.
Talk about facilities director.
And then, we got National Family Fun Month.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last kind of chance to do that. We'll be maybe talking about that a little bit more later in the episode. National Sandwich Month. Now, here's the real question mark. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Hot dog is not a sandwich. Hot dog is an entree by itself. It's not a sandwich. That was easy. Give me something else.
You just blew that out of the water. That was great.
I thought you were going to say, which side of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich do you want your peanut butter on?
The outside.
Thank you, Mrs. Bruce. The outside. You're an idiot. Mrs. Bruce would always ask students who forgot their lunch which side of the bread they wanted, which piece of bread they wanted their peanut butter on for their peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I had to think about it the first time, and then I laughed every other time she asked a student that. It was wonderful, wonderful.
My answer would be on the outside. So somebody asked me that. If somebody wants to ask me a dumb question, they get a dumb answer. That's why it's
play stupid games, win stupid prizes, folks.
A couple more. We got National Hair Loss Month. We're just gonna throw that one out there. I know sometimes our hair loss is due to our pulling our hair out, but some we know are follically challenged around us.
Yeah,
and so we want to be there for them.
There's one particularly who took a step forward professionally, but he needs to be brought back down to earth by those of us around him to keep him humble.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about our brother-in-law, who we won't name, but our mutual brother-in-law.
Yeah. We'll see if he listens to this.
Yeah, go for it.
But the most important, it's back to school month.
Back to school month.
That's
folks.
what we're all about. It's back to school month. The thing we both embrace, we celebrate, and perhaps dread a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Now, Matt, do you go back to school this year in August?
We never go back to school in August.
Oh,
I mean, the kids don't come back to school in August. I know there's many schools that do. Mm-hmm. We do not. We're Septemberers. Mm-hmm. But the teachers do come back. We are definitely working in the month of August. So
definitely
I do still consider it back to school month.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're the post Labor Day era, right? You get to hop on that
Correct.
train. Yep.
We're on that
So
train.
when we walk through what a principal should be walking through in August. We're going to start with facilities and site preparation. Hopefully, throughout the summertime, you have been working with your facilities guy, your facilities gal, your facilities team, your janitorial staff, whoever it is that's putting your building together, taking it apart, putting it back together. Your teachers, make sure they're ready in their classrooms. August is, if you ain't done it, you might need to consider whether or not if it even gets done in August or when it is time to pull the plug on a certain project. So at some point before the start of the school year, and I'd even say before your teachers come back in, site inspection with custodial staff to ensure the campus is ready. Your facilities director, if that's something you are able to delegate, if that's an understood part of that person's role, yes, make sure it is spick and span, ready to go. But for your teachers too, they deserve it, right? Finalize schedules for fall events, sports, including soccer and volleyball preseason. That happens. We say that in facilities and site preparation because you may do some of that those athletic events on site, and if so, you probably are running your preseason well early in August. So make sure the grass is cut, the lines are painted, the locker room is ready to go, all that sort of thing. Review and update the campus website to ensure that it is current. We think about that as part of our site preparation, our website preparation, but having that, again, those Google Calendar hours, those office hours that were time to summer hours, now they're kicked out to the school hours around this time. Matt, you got staff preparation.
Yeah. So I think regardless, if you're bringing students back in August, you're definitely bringing faculty back. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be, August is really kind of the pinpoint of getting your staff ready to go. I don't know. I guess this would be a good question of how many of our schools have expectations of their teachers throughout the entire summertime. I don't know if we've brought up that question in our timeline series, but I don't have an expectation of outside of our teachers kind of on themselves kind of look for different ideas and new things to develop. But perhaps you have some things even they come in for throughout the summertime. But definitely, you've got a week of or more than a week of teacher orientation. So you're going to have your faculty orientation. You're going to go over the policies with them, understanding what the expectations are for professional relationships, benefits, all the legal jargon, the harassment, safe environment, all these different kind of things you need to make sure we're going over, reviewing with our teachers. And it's really easy, especially if you have a crew that has been there for a long time, to just kind of gloss over those things. Mm-hmm. But don't. Take the time, go over it, review it, make sure you have that time set aside.
They'll have questions too. They will absolutely have questions too, and you need to give them time to honor the questions. And things change, especially state-related things change year by year. So take the time.
Yeah. Now, you perhaps, and I'm sure many of us have new teachers, so you want to make sure you have some time where you're going and specifically talking to new teachers, and maybe there's different ways you go about that, whether you're just meeting with them as administration, maybe you bring in some mentor type teachers that have been there for a while that can help out with that new teacher orientation. But you want to make sure you have time set aside to talk with those new teachers, going over the faculty manual, making sure they understand what is expected of them, every line throughout the faculty manual. The classroom, depending on when you're getting them in there, but expectations, walking them through what your expectations are as an administrator, what their classroom should look like, what liberty they have as a teacher. I think this is a really important thing when it comes to new teacher orientation, that it can be a little daunting perhaps as a new teacher to know what all they should focus on. And I know in the classroom especially, teachers get excited about themes and decorating and doing special things. You need to just make sure you're helping them have good expectations, so they're not burning themselves out just on the classroom, but walk through not just what's in the classroom, but other things that are available to them, workroom, supplies that you have, all those different procedures, making sure you're talking through those. And then anything that they need help in understanding the curriculum, understanding technology, other classroom expectations, discipline rules, all those different kind of things. Just making sure you're being extremely thorough.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I do like to just tap on to the end of this new teacher orientation, recognize, remember, it's fire hydrant time. There's going to be a ton of information for them. Make sure you're setting up checkpoints with them early on and consistently early on so that they're reviewing. Because I know if you're only trying to accomplish everything right here, you get down to October, November, and they're like, I never knew, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, we went over that new teacher orientation. You should have known that. They're not going to remember everything. So make sure you're helping them out. Give them opportunity to ask those questions. Check up on them as you go along.
Matt, how many days is your new teacher orientation?
I guess it kind of depends. I would say generally you've got if you dedicate a whole day to them. I don't know how people like to put it together. Sometimes I've done it both ways, where we just do one whole day. We're sitting down. We're going through everything, and then as we need to get up on more things, then we'll take care of that later on. If you want to help them out, and perhaps this is the better way of doing it, of just doing it in small pieces. Maybe you do the faculty manual one day, do the walkthrough another day. 3 days, I think, with just a couple of hours, 3 days, I think, would be a good day time limit to shoot for.
Yep. Now that would also depend on the number of people you have, right? If you got one, you're going to go faster. Right. If you got 15, you're going to take more time.
Yeah, the smaller numbers. That's where I tend to just knock it out with those one-on-one. And I love that I have a secondary and a elementary principal where we do it all together, but they're setting up times to meet with them consistently, both during orientation or in service time and then after school has started. So perhaps you're planning a teacher getaway. I know we typically plan a time to get off campus, and that time I know we use to do several different things. Obviously, I think the most important is team building, getting to know each other personally, praying for each other, sharing testimonies, sharing all kinds of burdens perhaps, or fears, or things that we can be an encouragement to each other. So team building, I especially like it anytime I get to make my teachers like play a game that initially they're all like, no way, not doing it. And then afterwards, it's a great memory. They look back on it and it's a lot of fun. And it's not hard. You do simple games like do Duck Duck Goose. When was the last time the teachers have played Duck Duck Goose? Maybe they'll let them sit in chairs. That might be an important thing. Introduce the year's theme. Make sure that you are getting them excited, getting them involved in that theme and ways that they can be incorporating it in the classroom and expectations that you might have for that. Make sure you can kind of build off of strengths from previous years. Let them share some great testimonies. That's a great idea sharing time as well. But I also like to use that getaway time when we're not on campus to really deal with the big stuff like handbooks and everything else. That's kind of what we're thinking about. So the getaway time, whether you do that or not, and then obviously the big one is in-service week. And we're not going to go through a ton of details here because I think we all understand it's the big one. Whether you do 1 or 2 weeks of in-service, you've got all your critical topics. You've got going through the schedules, making sure everything is set. You got policies, perhaps new policies that have been introduced. Making sure you're taking time to go through drills. Perhaps you've changed some things from the previous year. So make sure you walk through those. I always love walking through them all with the teachers. So we're not just talking in a classroom. We are in the hallways saying, this is where you need to be for this drill, all those kind of things. Also, just walk-arounds. Don't overlook those. Uh, Exits, danger areas, all those kind of things. Make sure you're taking time to get up and move around. Any technology updates, or perhaps even this year, I'm thinking of going through my for my teachers some websites that are available to them that they may not recognize are available and may make their life a little bit easier. Go through those things. Perhaps you're going to have some professional development put in here as well. Not a terrible time to be doing that. However, do make sure, this is important for me, you are reserving time for the teachers to be in their homerooms, to be going through lesson plans, be creating their curriculum, be collating, all these other kind of things. It's a busy time for them. So make sure you're balancing that as best you possibly can in preparation for the year.
Now, we spent more time on these new teacher orientation, plan teacher getaway, prepare for teacher in-service week. We spent more time on them because these really are the biggest parts of August unless you're starting school in August. These really take up some of the most time and really have to be carefully apportioned because you're using the time that is so incredibly hard to balance between giving faculty and staff enough time to prepare, but also walking through what needs to be walked through. So first of all, understand that everybody struggles with that balance. And if anybody has actually figured out that balance perfectly well and everybody's totally happy with you, you better bottle that and sell it to me first. Because I want to turn around and make a lot more money off of it than you ever could. So past that, I'd also say we have put out a couple episodes very specifically on just the content and then other very specific like time-related pieces of the in-service week. So go back to those early episodes and check those out.
Early episodes.
They're very early episodes, but those were strong, and we liked walking through them because they were so specific on what is it that you walk through, and we had a couple guests on, in your in-service preparation week. Lastly, do make sure that you ask Matt to come and sweep your building for all the makeout spots, as Matt has already been proven to be the one who knows where the main makeout spots are. Purloin letter style or actually like dark corner style, whichever one happens to be. Matt is able to point them out to you.
I don't remember ever really saying that in our couple of things, but whatever.
We're going to have to fly through the rest of these. So I'm going to go fast to administrative planning. Review and update the goals that you have set school-wide with your data from previous, be it assessments or polls or surveys, whatever it happens to be. Accreditation check-in. Make sure you have looked to document both your check-in, the cycle of change, where you are in that cycle of change, where you are in your goals that were set at the initial stages of that particular change, and you've walked through those and recorded where you are, and you know which step you're taking once the school year starts. Assist staff with interpreting student achievement data and adjust goals accordingly. So that could be much more individualistic if you need to, or helping your principals do the same thing, or working with your specialty team to make sure that the homeroom teachers are well ready to deal with the individuals they have. Organize your office and desk for efficient operations. We talked about this one earlier. Simplify your life. I would say go modern, go glass, go bare, go minimum, and start there because it'll get messy after that. And then note the number of parents on vacation to respond as needed, because we know that the summertime is vacation time. So it could very well be that you need to rethink certain of the meetings that you have, how many people you're going to have on campus, one way or the other, because they may be gone. They may be out of the country. They may be away from us. But student engagement and scheduling is up next.
Yeah. So you're going to have student orientation, whether you're starting in August or in September. I'm sure orientation is probably going to fall in August. So you're making sure you're prepared for that. Perhaps you deal with book sales, whether you're a school that provides books or students have to buy their books or all those kind of things. So that's going to be something. Perhaps this is a time, maybe for more so for high school, of finalizing student schedules. If you have the ability to customize schedules, make sure that everything is as it should be, that all the requirements are being met. You can talk through student questions they might have, parent questions they might have about a student schedule as well. Maybe class assignments, locker assignments, making sure all those are taken care of for students. And a lot of that taken care of on site makes the beginning of school a lot easier if it's all done and taken care of ahead of time. But then, orientation sessions for all of your students, number one, but then perhaps some ones that would be helpful to do grade specific. I know that we've found success in doing a 7th grade orientation if you are of the structure where your elementary goes all the way through 6th grade, and then 7th begins like a high school level type schedule, no middle school. We have found that that's, it's shock and awe. They don't know what's going on. So having an orientation for them is great. And then your seniors would probably benefit as well from a orientation session to know what expectations they have coming in. And sometimes, maybe bringing our seniors down to a little bit of reality before first day hits wouldn't be a terrible thing either. Like, yes, guys, we want you to enjoy this year, but remember, there are some things that you've got to get done. So make sure that your students are prepared to do extremely well.
We're focusing on a lot of things in this time. Don't forget to focus on the spiritual, and don't forget to focus on how the community around you, all the stakeholders around you, need to focus on the spiritual as well. So maybe prepare a day, prepare part of your parent orientation to be a part of spiritual refreshment, highlighting what, again, he already talked about what the spiritual theme was of the year, but doing things as best as you can to put the focus back on God, Jesus, the Bible, the purpose, the mission. Perhaps there is a part of parent orientation you could use for that. Also, just make sure the community building is solid for your parent orientation. Parent orientation can quickly turn into the rules time and you did this wrong last year, you got to do it right this year time. Parents don't want that, and we don't want to start off on the right. We don't want to start off on the wrong foot. We want to start off on the right foot.
We do want to start off on the right foot.
We want to start off on the right foot. Yeah. So make sure that your parents come in and they have goodwill walking out of parent orientation meeting, that they're excited. If you're going to have a spiritual emphasis day, perhaps you can match that up with what you're doing in parent orientation, but perhaps there is a spiritual emphasis day for your school in the school year. Perhaps it comes before, perhaps it is the first week with your students, perhaps it's only volunteer and you have a worship night, or you have a special set of evangelistic series or something that starts your school year, whatever it is. This may be a time to have some spiritual emphasis days going on in your school.
All right. Another big thing in August that we're kind of hit around a little bit is sports and extracurriculars. Sometimes, well, I say sometimes, our sports often precedes all of our other academic things because we have preseason. Whether you've got soccer, volleyball, what other sports you have in the fall time, your athletes are probably already going strong by the time the students come on campus. So, of course, you've got practices, you've got other things to go on, but you're going to want to also facilitate a meeting time, coaches, parents, players, athletic directors. Let's not forget them. I would probably not, I need to say athletic director. It's my wife, so I got to say it. But make sure that they have a time to meet together, understand expectations. Probably best to do that prior to preseason. So that they can go through handbooks, they can go through, maybe you've got a standard of conduct that you want to make sure this is taken care of, expectations, schedules, make sure all the emergency forms are collected, all those different kind of things. So sports, if you're not already playing games, at least making sure you're prepared for preseason.
Absolutely. Other meetings and collaborations to hold. Let's just say you have a media director, your principals, office staff manager. You have a facilities director manager. Yeah, facilities director manager. Oh my goodness, facilities director. Perhaps you have politicians that you want to get in with them prior to the year, because during the year it's going to be tough. You want people to come visit your office. What you have a president, you have a board to bring in, whatever it is. These kickoff meetings, if you're looking at them as kickoff times, they need to happen. They probably need to happen now, and that can be tough. But it's the start of the school year, and it's what they pay you for. So go ahead and make sure those meetings happen, and they're well prepared for. And even you prompt them. That may be necessary for you in a situation if you're coming into it, or you just haven't had these meetings before. Prompt a couple-hour meeting with somebody that you know you need to be on the right footing with, and then make it happen over lunch, even if you have to. I also put down here social media. You want to nail your opening day social media. You want to nail your opening day camera work. You want to nail the opportunities to take photos and videos of your faculty and staff before the students get there. So not only just headshots, but also, let's say your social media team wants some fun videos of your teachers trying a trend somewhere, or they want to play a game with the faculty and staff while they're all together, so that they can use that in a Thanksgiving or a Christmas time, or just for social media at some other time. Take some time to meet with that team and see if that team wants some time during all of these orientations to grab some of that footage.
Sometimes it does. I know this has happened to me at least once, where I get really focused on that opening day, and we take tons of pictures, tons of videos, great day. And then I come to like around Thanksgiving, and I'm like, I need some photos, and all the photos that I have are just from the first day of school. It's like we didn't take any pictures after that. But nope. Yeah. All right, some logistics purchases. When I know a lot of our curriculum's already been ordered, it should have been. If it's not already, you're kind of in trouble. But no doubt, as your teachers are back and they're going through some things, I know for my faculty, a lot of times they'll be going through something and then realize, oh, we're one short of something for some reason. So, we're collecting those as fast as we possibly can to make sure we're not missing anything before the first day of school. So it's great. That's another reason to have the faculty in and making sure they're going through everything to make sure you don't miss those things. Or perhaps in preparations, there's some technology that would be helpful to upgrade. And we're realizing that maybe this late in the game, but we want to make sure everything's ready, but sometimes it isn't until people are in the building and we start filling it back up that things come to our attention. So keep that in mind, so that hopefully when the students come, you're ready to go and you're not having to get caught up after the school year has begun. So make sure you've got everything you need logistically and for purchases prior to the school starting.
Lastly, take some time for personal preparation. And this doesn't have to be 6 days alone in a silence in the woods, you in the tent, eating
that doesn't sound
herbs
terrible,
and
terrible.
Eating herbs and brushing your teeth with charcoal and a stick. It doesn't have to be that. It can be making sure that you do have a 5 a.m. wake up 3 times the week before school starts, and you walk the building and you pray for an hour. And you don't do it the rest of the year. You do it 3 times at the start of the school year. You do it one time, I guarantee you it'll change your outlook for at least that day. If you do need to have a 3-hour prayer time, and you do need to take that time in the middle of the day from 12 to 3, do it. If you do need to take time to be with your wife, your husband, if you do need to take time to be with that team immediately around you in a spiritual way, because you had a rough issue, some kind of schism in the summertime, take it. Make sure you start as best as you can before God on that right foot as soon as possible. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, but even more so, let not the school year start with any kind of severe issue between you and anybody close to you, if at all possible.
Yeah,
please make sure you help yourself out that way.
Any more strain on us?
No, not at all.
The year.
Tonight's Christian principal. Tonight's Christian Administrator Spotlight is going out to Mr. Dennis Campbell. This is actually Dr. Dennis Campbell. So as we talked about getting ready for August, we're thinking about you, Mr. Campbell. Now, before Dr. Campbell, we're thinking about you, Dr. Campbell. Now, before we go and talk further about Dr. Campbell, though, we do need to hear from the Herzog Foundation, something we haven't done yet.
This episode is brought to you by our partners at the Herzog Foundation, whose mission aligns beautifully with ours to advance and support Christ-centered education. The Herzog Foundation exists to catalyze excellence in Christian schools, helping more children experience academic rigor, biblical truth, and strong moral character, all in a safe and nurturing environment. Whether through teacher training, principal development, or strategic media efforts, The Herzog Foundation is committed to helping you, the Christian school leader, fulfill your calling with excellence. Their vision is bold but clear, a national renaissance in Christian education that impacts culture for generations. At the Christian Principles Podcast, we're proud to stand with the Herzog Foundation in that mission. Learn more at herzogfoundation.com. Together, we're building schools and futures on the rock of Christ. And as always, tell them that the fellas here at the Christian Principles Podcast sent you their way.
Coming back in from the Herzog Foundation, please make sure you do look at what they have during the school year as well, because during the school year, they are just as busy as they are in the summertime, because you are just as busy as you are in the summertime, and it might be a great time for you to plan a time to get away and even take some personal time to do so. But Dr. Dennis Campbell, I said Mr. and Doctor because he has many hats. He's pastor, doctor, Mr. He's probably husband, father, son to somebody, right? But he is all of these things for another Minnesota Association of Christian Schools member school, Granite City Baptist Academy, GCBA, out there in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So, Doctor, Pastor, Principal, thank you for all the hats that you wear there, Mr. Dr. Campbell. Pastor Campbell, Matt's going to pray for you now.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity we have to come before you. And as we've been talking about a busy month of preparing for school, I pray that you would be with Dr. Campbell as he leads his ministry there, the ministry you have placed him in St. Cloud. Not only the responsibility of leading the body of believers there, the church, but also leading the school. And I know that's not an easy task, but I pray that you would give him the staff that would enable him to run that ministry smoothly, allow him to have a great impact on his students this coming year, that you would, even as we were just mentioning, that you would help him to make sure in all the busyness, he would be finding the time he needs to be spending with you, to be encouraged, to be strengthened, as he seeks to be your servant, and that your light would shine brightly through him. We thank you for all of this and all that you're going to do in that ministry this coming year. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Man, I'm excited. It's still July, but I'm excited about August. So August, please slow down and don't show up yet.
I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not excited.
I know we don't want August to get here, but it is fun to think about it. And it is coming. All right, folks. Thanks for going with us today.
Before you go, please be sure to hit that follow button on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, on Spotify, be sure to tap the star icon near the top and select the number of stars you'd like to give us. We'd be so grateful for 5. On Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the ratings and review section and then tap write a review to share your thoughts of the podcast. Thank you.